Welcome to dinner with a side of murder. On tonight's menu, we have bison fillets, lobster tails, duck fat potatoes, red wine braised onions, green beans, with a side of something a little different. It was 2005 when it started. A 17-year-old high school girl was being groomed by her 30-year-old principal, and everyone around her had no idea. It was the first day of her senior year, and she was working as an office aide. Inside the office, she ran errands, took attendance, and helped the assistant principal. It was there the assistant principal took a special interest in her, even making her feel like they were friends. He would stop in the office and say hello, walk off, and everything seemed fine. This went on for about 2 or 3 weeks. Then one day, he asked her if she could help him in his office. He needed filing done. She agreed. She walked into his office, and his filing cabinet was behind his desk, near the floor. He told her what she needed to do, and she complied, happily. She would be in there sitting on the floor behind his desk, filing his paperwork. One day he came in and made a strange comment she didn't really understand. She was quite naive at the time, a very sheltered girl. He made the comment, "You're always on your knees in my office." She laughed and she shrugged it off and said, "Well, yeah, because your filing cabinet's on the floor." She didn't get the innuendo, understandably. Time went on and she helped him every day, and he confided in her things you probably shouldn't confide in a teenager when you're a grown adult. Marital problems, things going on in the economy. They even talked about politics. She felt so smart and so grown up when she was talking to him because he made her feel like an equal. Again, he was 30 years old and her principal. Eventually, their friendship, quote unquote, started to take a little bit of a turn. He told her he had a secret handshake he wanted to teach her, and she couldn't show anybody else. This handshake consisted of him holding her hand and tickling the palm of it. It felt creepy, but she was like, whatever, and shrugged it off. Every day he would search her out, and every day he would give her this secret handshake, which eventually warped into secret hugs, secret conversations. And it was weird. She would feel uncomfortable, but then shrug it off because he was so nice to her. They were friends. Well, at least she thought they were friends. By the end of the school year, she trusted him and he trusted her. And he began giving her hugs. Very long hugs. When she graduated, he wrote 2 times in her yearbook and invited her to come back and work for the school the next year while she was in college. She agreed, but she had a job at a local grocery store that he frequented and would have her take his groceries to his car just so he could sneak a hug in. Eventually, she started to feel really uncomfortable about this, but she shrugged it off. Her whole family worked for the school and everybody knew him. So, when school started back up the next school year, she was asked to come back and work for him, and she did. And that's when the nightmare began. She she had just turned 18. And he would come when there was nobody around, and he would force her to give him long, long hugs. So close that she could feel his pulse, and she could also feel other things that happen to male bodies when they become overstimulated. This frightened her very much, and she voiced it to him. To his response, "Your family works for the school district, and if you ever tell anyone, I'll get them all fired. Who do you think they're going to believe? Some dumb kid? Or me? Somebody who's been in this town for years, whose family runs this town." It was a small town, a town where everybody knew everybody. But they really didn't know this man. He was a monster, and she was terrified. My friend worked in a building behind the school. It was secluded. Nobody went out there except for the assistant principal to quote-unquote check on her. When he would go check on her, basically what he was doing, he was going over there to assault her because no one else was in that building. This went on for quite a while. She eventually quit the school, got married, and moved far away. She's happy now that she lives so far away. Eventually, it came out that he had assaulted another child, but the town rallied against that child and hyped him up. He eventually won, and that child had to move away. He's no longer working at the school. He's doing something else. He's also a father and a grandfather. Disgusting. She's doing a lot better now. She sought therapy, and she finally told somebody after such a long time. In fact, it was about 3 years ago when she finally told people about it. I know this wasn't a story of murder, but this does live in my friend's memory forever. And for those of you who have gone through something like that, I'm sorry. I hope you find the help and safety that you're looking for, and know that you are loved and supported, and it was not your fault. And I truly hope that that monster gets what he finally deserves, one way or another, in this life or the next. Enjoy your meal. Good night.